So the Yankees won, like I think you and I both expected, Gary, on my dad's birthday. So obviously we appreciate the win there. Kind of fun game to watch. Kind of frustrating game to watch at times, Yankee baseball. Very home run reliant. Unfortunately, the damage has been done. The Red Sox took over the first spot in the wild card. And this 7-2 win, it still matters. I don't want to take anything away from it. But I think we just need to be honest with ourselves. They are way too home run reliant. And there's some issues still in that bullpen. Devin Williams looks like he's fixed everything right now. Of course, time will tell. Doval looks like a little bit of a concern. He did get 2 strikeouts. He got out of the inning. I get that. But he still looks shaky, right? And I'll say this. I'll give Boone some credit today. He finally had the balls to bench Volpe. Of course, he couldn't bench him the whole game, right? Could not bench him the whole game. He had to put him in as a defensive replacement.
Just had to do it, huh?
I don't understand. I love that the broadcast I'm not the biggest fan of the broadcast, except for David Cohn. Love that guy. But I like that they brought up, and maybe it was just David Cohn that brought it up. That would make a lot of sense because it was a good point. The thing where they took out Stanton and they took out Caballero at the end of the game, and now Stanton isn't hitting, and it's Goldschmidt. And I understand Goldschmidt comes through, has a hit, then Jazz knocks him in with the home run. But the idea, they put the graphic up there since, July 8th. Stanton has the highest OPS of anybody not named Nick Kurtz, who had 5 home runs in a game. So that's what we're talking about right now, about how hot he is as a hitter. And I loved the thing they brought up is Giancarlo Stanton more likely to give up a run in the field or more likely to cash in a run on the offensive side hitting? And I said he was more valuable as a bat, that I don't care. And for the most part, I think the Yankees, pitching-wise, have done a nice job of really protecting Stanton. You don't see too many shots out that way. He hasn't had to make any crazy decisions, and he's not diving all over the field or anything. I mean, for the most part, he's just there, right? So
yeah, it's a Cadillac jog. I mean, he's gonna right. I'm gonna.
I hated it though. I absolutely hated it. I'm not operating this game like the Yankees are coasting to a win. I'm operating like I've seen disaster strike, and they're only up 5-2, mind you, when this decision is made. I thought it was a terrible decision by Aaron Boone, and I didn't like replacing Caballero either. So, that I just wanted to throw that out there. Just was not a fan of that, but I was a fan of benching Volpe today for Caballero, who had the only non-home run created run today. And yeah,
seems like you're seeing Bigfoot, huh, Jake? When you see a run scored for the Yankees and it's not into the seats, it almost feels like it's the only way you're allowed to score. And you don't want to
You had to hit that thing far for Stanton to score from third. I can tell you that one.
Right. It just sort of feels like if you're not a Yankees fan or if you're more of a casual fan, you would have watched this game and been like, well, how can you possibly complain about a loss? And we would never do that. Never. Right.
Yeah.
Because actually, from a literal perspective, what we wanted was just to win all means necessary. If you guys wanted to hit home runs, you guys can do that. But they saw Bello, right? They saw other arms, better arms, Crochet. And Jake, part of the reason you predicted that the Yankees weren't going to win any other games other than this game with Dustin May pitching was because it's much easier to hit home runs and receive mistakes as an offensive player when you're facing a worse pitcher. Garrett Crochet is not making consistent mistakes where you can hit 2 home runs. Garrett Crochet is not making pitches where a Jazz Chisholm can go deep twice. It's just not happening. So having said all these things, I want to put Brian up on the screen. Brian, happy birthday, my man.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you for the 2. Yeah, you could have just put in the live it was your birthday, but Again, thank you for investing in our channel. It's really appreciated, and obviously being a member here at Yankees Unloaded. We do have some voicemails, by the way, that we're going to bring on later in the show. We can't wait to do that. And if you guys are new here to Yankees Unloaded, please be sure to like the video. I know you guys did an amazing job of helping remind some new people that joined in our last episode. I think we had like 16,000 views roughly, and we had almost 1,000 likes. So thank you guys for being a part of that. If you subscribe to Yankees Unloaded, you enter in. Jake, we are now inches from 10,000 subs. When we get to 10,000, we're going to announce that live giveaway and exactly how we're going to go about it. We're not just going to pick one out of the hat. We're going to find a way that's fair to everybody. So thank you guys for doing that. And Brian, again, happy birthday, my man. And John with the 2 says there's still just bum slayers out in the wild card. So I take it that John isn't going to be impressed when they go beat down on Chicago, right? The Chicago White Sox we're talking about here, not the Cubs. The Chicago White Sox, and I believe the Nationals in the next series. So that's sort of where the Yankees are. They're going to face really good pitching. We can't act like the rest of the Red Sox rotation wasn't strong. Jake, we covered it before the series ever started, and we also said the Yankees are going to have to prove they can score in another way other than hitting home runs. We started this series essentially teeing that up and that question and seeing what they would do with it, and we now walk away having won one of the 4-game stretch, having proven we can't score outside of hitting home runs. So, Jake, I'm curious to know if you think this is fixable in season or if you think this is roster construction, because that is the million-dollar question for the Yankees. Is there an inability to score outside of hitting home runs strictly because of the players they bring through the door, or is it an organizational practice? My opinion, I'm going to be straightforward as can be, I think this isn't a player issue. I think this is a mentality issue that can be fixed probably in an offseason with a different mentality going into the year. But Jake, how do you feel about this? Because I would assume we're going to walk into that Chicago series, hit a bunch of home runs, walk into that Washington series, hit some homers, and people will think, oh, our offense is getting going. What say you?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, I think it's not a structural issue, roster-wise. I think it's a structural issue from the brain trust. And when you don't have a brain trust that has a brain, well, there you go. So I don't like the direction the Yankees are headed in that regard. And I think it goes to show you. I mean, Caballero still, this is why we like him. He's an old school Yankee. I said it today. I was watching the game and I just was like, he reminds me of Miguel Cairo. Like, willing to do whatever it takes to win, can play all the positions.
We're big Miguel Cairo fans on this podcast.
Huge Miguel Cairo fan. Like, the dude is one of the most underrated Yankees. Does not get enough love. Now, he's not going to hit 290 like Miguel Cairo did, but also, he's still a good player. And I think the thing with Cabby that's a lot different than everyone else is he's not fully integrated into what they're looking for.
I love that.
I really feel, I know, right? I feel like that's what keeps him unique. Like, he's still playing Tampa Bay Rays baseball in a New York Yankee lineup.
Kind of feels like Ben Rice is in that same exact breath, by the way.
I mean, it feels like Ben Rice is still playing that kind of AAA style baseball that, like, team matters. It's we, not me type of thing. And the Yankees play the most me, not we baseball you'll ever see. And, outside of Cody Bellinger and, I think Trent Grisham plays a really good brand of baseball. I know he had 2 home runs today.
I would also say Paul Goldschmidt first half. I mean, I think a lot of what he was doing then, and maybe not now, and I wouldn't even say he's not trying to hit homers or do anything necessarily
Stanton does
related.
too, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
You can sort of see which players are outliers to the mentality, right? The hive mind, if you will, that the Yankees have. Yeah. Ben Rice is a clear outlier. He actually is the player who pops off the page the most.
You know who else is a good we, not me player?
We, not me. Is it in the lineup?
Nope. For some reason, he's not ever in the lineup.
He's not ever in the lineup?
Ahmed Rosario. Just watch number 14 He's always out there. He jumps over the dugout, and he is always out there cheering guys on, but he can't get on the field. Even though all he does is hit. He has like a .542 batting average as a Yankee. Ahmed Rosario and Jose Caballero are playing baseball, a brand of baseball that is not Yankees yet. They have not been fully integrated into this. And that's
so you
why
think if time goes on, they would kind of integrate into what we would do?
I am concerned about that, yes.
Okay.
Now, here's the, I guess, the saving grace, if you will. You look at a Jose Caballero, and you're like, well, they have 4 years of control, right? Well, the Yankees, and keep this in mind, there's still a chance, like if their season's bad enough, they move on from some of these guys. Brian Cashman, Aaron Boone, right? I'm not saying they're going to, but mind you, if they fire Aaron Boone, James Rowson's out the door. The only one who would stay is Matt Blake, and that's the only one who should stay, if we're being honest. I mean, I'm
on the same page.
I'm not trying to fire Brad Ausmus because I have to, in order for me to say fire the bench coach, I have to know what he's doing, impactive, either in a good way or a bad way. And I feel like that's ignorant for me to be like, fire Brad Ausmus. We're not doing that.
We don't have enough information on this show to possibly suggest that either of us know what Brad Ausmus is doing. We have no clue. But I have to
assume James Rowson has to do with this launch angle obsession, right? And if it's not him, right, it's probably the analytic team, but he's still a part of this. He's still a part of this. And if I'm actually surprised that because they did, totally pin everything on Sean Casey, right? They blamed everything on him. They blamed Volpe on him. Remember that? They basically just...
It was an early dismissal. They brought him in. Obviously, he runs a podcast, and I enjoy it. Mm-hmm. They brought him in, said it's a breath of fresh air. We're going to bring some new blood in here.
Yeah.
And they made it seem like he couldn't diagnose the problems with some of their young players right away, didn't fix them right away. Well, Sean Casey, is he still in that dugout? He's not, is he? No, he's not anywhere close to it. He's still podcasting. Well, how is it that you're now suddenly going to say, oh, it wasn't that hitting coach? Turns out it wasn't that hitting coach. Huh. Where is the common denominator here? We happen to be the most analytically driven team in the league. We just are.
Yeah, I hate it.
We got rid of a hard-nosed manager. Joe Girardi is more in your face. Mm-hmm. He's going to tell it like it is, and you hear it in the broadcast. Now, he's smoothing out the edges by being in the broadcast booth, right?
Yeah.
But in that locker room, what we saw in the media and how he was handling these players, he'd rip you if he had to. And Aaron Boone's a totally different brand. We now call it throwing players under the bus by offering those players any type of public criticism whatsoever. If they're under the age of 32 and you're criticizing a player and you say, I don't like what he did and that's unacceptable, it's considered just slam dunking on the player. That's the land that we now live in. It's Looney Tunesville, and I don't like it at all. And Kyle, and I want to give Aaron Boone some credit today because if this is true, and Kyle, thank you for bringing this to our channel, obviously as a mod here with the two, says Volpe has been told he won't start tomorrow. Now, before the game, Aaron Boone was asked, is Anthony Volpe going to be starting tomorrow? And he said, I don't know yet. And now Kyle is bringing it to our attention that he's been alerted. Now, again, I can't confirm that, but according to Kyle here, he's not playing. So you have to credit Aaron Boone for that. Now, you don't have to greet him at the door about it, but Anthony Volpe shouldn't be playing right now. He's not playing good enough baseball to possibly warrant starting for the Yankees, let alone any contender or team that has to win these games. Now, when we go into this Washington series, they may try to finagle him into the series. He shouldn't play at all. As long as Caballero is putting out professional at-bats, he's running the bases. Jake, you called him an outlier to our hive mind, right? He's essentially sticking out from our boomer bust approach. And you're suddenly going to work one of your young former players. You're going to work them back into the lineup. I'm going to give Aaron Boone credit for this as long as it's true. And it needs to stay true as long as Caballero is performing. That's my only ask.
Yeah, I hear you, right? So I can confirm Brendan Cuddy did actually confirm that Anthony Volpe said he was told he's out of the starting lineup tomorrow, will be back in Tuesday. Why? Why?
Why is he? It just tells
Why
you
is he
that
back at all?
he's
He should be
out
benched.
to fix him. They're saying that he's out, Jake, because their intention is to fix him, not to play the best player. That's a problem. So, Kyle, again, thank you for bringing this to our attention. I really appreciate that. It goes to show you all, they're not intending to try and put the best players on the field at every one position. They're trying to fix each and every player. Devin Williams, we're going to try and fix him. That's our mission. We're going to fix this. They're not comfortable, Jake, just pitching and putting a guy at shortstop at a place where they say he's just our best option, and that's why he's going to play. It's a shame.
Yeah. By the way, I just want to real quick. There was a. So yeah, people are not happy that I said Caballero was taken out. I was taken out as shortstop. I did watch the entire game. He was taken out shortstop. Anthony Volpe isn't a good shortstop. I'm over him entirely. I don't want to ever see him on the field, period. I don't care that he's fixed his defense. I don't want to see him. And I don't want to see Giancarlo Stanton not in the lineup. I don't know how more clear I had to make that. But yeah, I did watch the game, confirmed. So
yeah, the whataboutisms in the comments is worth ignoring. So
like, appreciate y'all being in here, but like, yeah, I don't need to be like questioned if I watch the game. Yeah, I always do my homework before I come on here and say stuff. So,
and hello, mom from
and
Honolulu.
Bruce,
tough life.
We don't overanalyze, and well, maybe we do because we do a show every single night. And I know Jose was moved to right field again. He was taken out of shortstop to put Anthony Volpe in, and I didn't want Anthony Volpe in. That like period. I didn't want.
So
like,
Bruce,
Stanton out of the lineup.
I'm actually curious because Bruce. By the way, I'm actually happy that you're here because most channels, I'll tell you, they'd reject any type of constructive criticism or just criticism outright. Now, here's my question for you, Bruce, because I actually have a real question, just one-on-one.
Yeah.
If Jose was moved to right field and not out of the game, which Jake obviously knew because he watched the game and so did I. Now, the question is, why was he moved in order to put who in the game? I would love you to answer that for me because Jake has been saying all along who he wants in the game. I've been saying all along. We want this guy in the game. We want that guy out the game. We want him in the game. We want him out the game. Very simple. X's and O's. And when a player is moved and you're saying, oh, he's going to play this position, shortstop. He's going to move from shortstop to right field. And then we're going to flex. Shortstop's now vacated. Let's bring Anthony Volpe over there. Is Anthony Volpe not hitting and playing a great shortstop? Nope. He just threw a ball to Timbuktu yesterday. Anthony Volpe is not some defensive replacement that we need on the field at all. He's just not. Is he improving defensively over the last, I'd say about 2.5 weeks? Sure. But should he be in the game today after the reason he's sitting is that he's been so bad for the past 3 weeks to a month? No. He shouldn't have played. So that's just as clear as we can possibly put it. So again, Bruce, thank you for being here. It really helps out the channel with you being here. But I will tell you guys, we just want a simple, this guy should play, he should not. Caballero should just play all 9 innings at one position and be done with it.
Because Stanton is one of the hottest hitters in baseball and was coming up to bat in the 9th inning. He was literally on deck. Like when the next inning happened, he was at the plate. And they essentially, they pinch hit for him with Paul Goldschmidt. And Goldschmidt comes through. But like, to me, that's insane. That's just insane.
No,
because it's a 5-2 ball game at that point. You can't ever. It's like, you know how we have to look at it from now on? Because it's literally no different. Aaron Judge can't play the field right now, right? He can't play the outfield. Would you ever, and I don't care that he's struggling, because I know people have been talking about it. He is struggling. Would you ever not, would you ever pinch hit for Aaron Judge in the 9th inning?
No.
So why would you do it with Stanton, who's a better hitter right now?
Because they just make the assumption that, well, we're up 3, and so chances are we're going to win this game, so we'll go a different direction. No, you don't get that opportunity. Teams that are up 2 or 3, 4, right? Toronto lost today. And you're like, they have a lead in the division. They can afford to make decisions that aren't foot on the gas pedal at all times.
Yeah.
We can't. Unfortunately. I would love for Giancarlo Stanton, who, by the way, it would be nice to get him off his feet. It would be nice to not need a Giancarlo Stanton at bat. I would love that. But unfortunately, we dropped 3 of our last 3 games against Boston and 8 of our last 8. And so when we're in these situations, you have to manage accordingly. So again, it is nitpicky, but it's the job at hand. We do a show every single day. And Donald with the 3 says Nathaniel Lau on Boston could be a problem later. Now, Jake, you covered... Yeah,
could be.
You've been covering his clutch at bats, which he's been doing for a while now. I mean, he's no young player. This dude's not 22. He's been doing this. So you mentioned you did a solo video to cover this and exactly what his role would be. Now, what he does well is he can essentially, I need to get a hit. I need to scrap for a hit. Very different from the Yankees brand, where the Yankees are looking, okay, 1-0, 2-0. I'm getting the bat head out front, and I'm trying to go upper deck. I'm trying to hit a 3-run jack. Nathaniel Lau is just different mentality. And you see where he makes an impact, and it's a different type of impact than the Yankees really have on the field right now. So, yeah, it would have been a nice pickup, but you have to live with the fact that Boston made a solid pickup here. They just did. You got to tip your cap there. So, Donald, again, thank you for the 3. And Zachary with the 5 says, if we would have lost to Dustin May,
I told you guys. I told you they were not losing this game to Dustin May. He's that bad. And
he's not good.
And if you want to panic, this was one of the guys that the Yankees wanted. They were actually front runners for this. They were front runners.
Dustin May's actually been decent for Boston since he's being acquired, but that doesn't matter. He just got there. He pitched, I believe, 18 innings. There's no way if you lost this game, Boston with Dustin May on the mound more times than not the rest of the season should be a loss. They're a good team. I like their roster. I do. But Boston pitching Dustin May is like, oh, here's our 4 or 5 starter. If he gives us a nice outing, it would be nice. But it's still Dustin May. We need to be realistic. This wasn't their first choice. And so this was almost their rebound from Joe Ryan. And now that it was...
Can you imagine if they got Joe Ryan?
No, if they got Joe Ryan, this would have been a 4-game sweep. And they probably...
Wouldn't have been close.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't have been competitive. We'd probably get no hit today.
Yeah. No, it would not have been close. Did we hit on this?
We did.
Okay.
We don't miss.
We don't miss. All right. So yeah, Dustin May, not good. And all you need to know, the Dodgers go through hell and back when it comes to pitcher injuries, and they still were chomping at the bit to get rid of this guy when he got healthy. Chomping at the bit. Tells you everything. The Dodgers. So there you go. Home run or nothing won't get past wild card round. Home run or nothing can actually get you past the wild card round. It's when you start getting into those games where, we're talking divisional and, ALCS, right? And World Series.
Which team is it, by the way? Because as it currently stands, let's freeze in time and take a look at the standings. The Boston Red Sox, as you pointed out when this episode launched, they're in the first spot of the wild card. The New York Yankees are sitting comfortably in the second spot. Obviously, the tiebreaker has just been long gone in that Boston situation. Yeah. And Seattle, the Seattle Mariners, sit in the third and final spot, the AL wild card. What do we know about Seattle's pitching staff, Jake? Can you just briefly?
I'll say this: they're very good, but they did not win the season series against the Yankees. I would take the Yankees over Seattle in a series. I would.
I wouldn't feel very good. Just me personally. I mean, I don't feel very good against Boston, right? Outright. We just know this. But Seattle, I just feel the Yankees
Boston's
can't
a loss.
score.
If they play Boston in a freaking 3-game series, it's a funeral.
Apex, we apologize.
Yeah.
So essentially, Jake thinks that Boston's a wash. If we run into Boston in the wild card, we're screwed. If we run into Seattle, he thinks we have a chance. Now, Kansas City and Texas probably aren't going to make it unless they get red hot, which
they
don't
would beat either of those teams. I really feel confident.
Yeah, well, those are just flat out not good teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, Seattle, they're like the bubble team. Now, me personally, I don't think we beat them. I just don't. But essentially what we're telling you is any of the teams that have earned their positioning by winning their division, the Yankees can't win this way. That's our opinion.
Yeah.
And that's tough to know. It's a very difficult understanding to have because as soon as you get into important games, what are we really doing as fans? Here's first pitch, and you're waiting on Trent Grisham to hit a solo home run. You're waiting on Aaron Judge to hit if Grisham walked, you're waiting on a 2-run home run. That is the type of baseball you're going to be watching. And we've watched that movie before. I've seen the beginning, the middle, and the end. And
they have the tiebreaker, by the way, Boston. Like, I understand that's obvious, but like, just again to reinforce, they have the tiebreaker. So it would be home field advantage. And this team struggles to beat Boston at home. So what happens when they go to Fenway? It's a horror movie. It is an absolute
Well, we're good at home if
movie.
we see Dustin May only.
Well, guess what? When you get to the postseason, it's a 3-game series. Dustin May won't even see time out of the bullpen.
He won't even sniff them out.
They will be putting him in a small closet of no mound or baseball or glove of any kind. That's what will be happening to Dustin May.
Yeah, he'll be chewing tobacco in the dugout. He will be leaning over the railing and watching. He will be. No, you're absolutely right. In those series, they just shrink and they pitch.
He won't even be on the roster.
So do we.
He won't be on the 26-man roster. There's no way they keep him. Guarantee you, he's not on the postseason roster. They'll be like, nope, there's no point.
But even if he was on the roster, and I'll say that he would be, however, he still is a bubble spot, and you're not going to see him in a series. So what you know is you're going to see Boston's best guys, and to be fair to us, they're going to see our best guys, right? It's going to be Fried, Rodon, and I don't know. Well, anyway,
Walker Buehler, that was funny.
Right. So you're going to see a boomer bust mentality, and the Yankees want you to believe that it can work. Now, can it work? Yeah. Technically speaking, the Yankees could just get red hot in a series and hit a bunch of home runs, but are you going to just hit a bunch of home runs through the wild card round, right? Go on a run, get into the division series, pop a bunch of home runs, never move runners. Like, you're never going to do all the mechanical stuff, right? The smart stuff. We're never going to do it because we never did it the whole year. But we're going to get red hot in the division series, then the championship series, and then the World Series. It just doesn't happen because no team wins. They hit home runs. There's nothing wrong with a home run. Matter of fact, it's the best thing you can do in the game. However, Jake, if it's the only thing you can do, at some point or another in your run, it's going to stop. And you have to be able to pivot to something, which was the beauty in signing a Cody Bellinger. Which was what they told us was the beauty was of bringing in a Paul Goldschmidt, where Aaron Boone is just, he's losing his mind about situational hitting. And then here we are, you fast forward 3 or 4 months, and situational hitting is gone to just pass away. It's just guys that you traded for at the deadline because they haven't been fully integrated into your brainwashing yet. Caballero is my favorite player to watch on the team. That is horrible.
I know.
That's not a good thing. And he's a great watch right now. He's just energetic. Yeah. He's fun. You know what's my least favorite watch? Your least favorite watch?
Not including Anthony Volpe.
Is it of the new pickups or just players that have been here?
In general, not including Anthony Volpe, because that's obvious. He's everyone's least favorite.
I would probably say Austin Wells.
No, it's Ryan McMahon. I hate watching Ryan McMahon. I hate it. He is going to turn into Joey Gallo, but he has no power. So I'm like,
there are a lot of people on Twitter, by the way, messaging me, and this is fair. I mean, the glove looked amazing, right? The glove is it. It's really good. And there were some people saying that there's so much value in having that glove, and they're right. There's a lot of value in having that type of glove at the hot corner, especially in today's game with the shifting and all the stuff that's going on. It's necessary, but he's also got to go up to the plate as well, and we have to get something offensively from Ryan McMahon. I know they expected him to slug. It was mentioned on the Yes broadcast, but Jake, he's got to bring some level of offense, and it just hasn't materialized. So Jeff J with the 2 says this is not a fully operational Death Star, which we were promised.
Let's talk about that, by the way.
Yeah,
the
go
Ryan
ahead.
McMahon thing. I have something that might be of interest to some people. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, lo and behold,
you're welcome, Mom.
Right? Yeah. Oswald, I just always knew how to say it, and I listened to you say it, and I'm like, all right, well, that's not how you say it, but I'm not going to tell him.
It's like the people who say, I can't care. What do they say? I could care less. I'm like, isn't it you couldn't?
Yeah, I couldn't care less.
Right.
Anyway. So, Oswald Peraza, McMahon fans, because there are like a lot of them all of a sudden, they'll tell you until they're blue in the face, right, that he's better than Peraza. I'm here to tell you it's practically a wash. Understand when I say this. Ryan McMahon in August is hitting 151, has a 246 on base percentage, a 245 slugging, and a 491 OPS. Oswald Peraza this season for the Yankees was hitting 152, right? Which is a higher batting average, believe it or not, by 1 point than what McMahon is doing this month. In addition to that, his on-base percentage is 14 points higher than what McMahon is doing this month. Mind you, the month's almost over. That's a pretty decent sample size. And the slugging percentage is higher than what McMahon is doing this month. So when I look at that whole debacle where people are like, well, his glove, I would understand if there wasn't anybody at third. If DJ LeMahieu was playing third and was making error after error, it's like, oh, he doesn't have the athleticism anymore or whatever. Peraza was a good glove. He was. And so the only thing about him is that he couldn't hit a lick. Well, guess what? Ryan McMahon can't hit a lick. Here's what I want to actually break this down for people, okay? Ryan McMahon started off his Yankee career. He had 8 hits in the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games, right?
Some clutch knocks in there as well. I believe a walk-off.
Some clutch knocks. Guess what happened? He's had 8 hits the entire month of August. You know what happened? Reality happened. We were told that Ryan McMahon has power because he's 6'2" and 219, and he should have power. Well, he doesn't. He doesn't at all.
I love that you just know his specs, like we're at the NFL.
Yeah,
combine.
well, I know. I'm really good at like
you know
NFL,
his vertical and everything.
Yeah, all that. But what was the other thing people kept saying, Gary? Do you remember?
About Ryan McMahon?
Yeah. When the Yankees got him?
Well,
What was the
was
concerning thing that people said about why trading for Ryan McMahon was a bad idea?
Colorado.
Because he had a 820 OPS, hit 246, right? Mm-hmm. He hit most of his home runs at home. Well, guess what? On the road, he hits 190. He's got a 265 on base percentage. And he has a 589 OPS. Ryan McMahon, right now, is just a taller, more proven Oswald Peraza. He's not a bat. He's a glove.
Don't forget, more expensive.
And $16 million more.
This year,
that
next year,
will
and the
go
year after
down.
that.
If he doesn't turn this around, that will go down as my least favorite trade they've ever made. I think he sucks. I cannot stand him. I think he sucks. My issue is how are you that abysmal at the plate?
Yeah, I mean, he did have a tough series. He was today's the 24th.
A tough series.
He was
needs
0 for
August
3.
end right now.
He was 0 for 3 with 2 Ks today. He was 0 for 2 yesterday with a K. And the day before that, and you'd think he'd sprinkle in something. Nope, 0 for 4 with 2 Ks. So, obviously some people are going to listen to that and be like, man, you guys are picking on him. Nope, we're just reading numbers.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. We love to utilize data. And then, of course, if the data points us in a direction where we're wrong, we certainly will bring that up. Ryan McMahon, I'm going to say this, though, about Peraza. So just so that there's not any type of revisionist history, Peraza at the time of the deal, his defense was starting to go the opposite direction. Not saying that the totality of the season that he wasn't a good defender, because he was. Now, Jake, you were the first person to tell me that he was a great glove. But I will say, when he was over at third base, for the most part, he was essentially, and this is how it was covered because I listen to the Michael K. Show a lot. it was covered that, yeah, he can field it. He can pick it over there, but he can't hit a lick. You can't have a third baseman hitting under 200 and go on a pennant. You can't go win a pennant race doing that. That was the exact coverage from Michael Kay. Exactly what he said. And he's right. He's right. Which is why Jake, before the season started, said, I just think given our situation, we've got to pay what it costs to go get Alex Bregman, right? That's what you said. Now, once you don't, now it just kind of bounces down just down the line, and you say, okay, well, we either are going and trying to go through a wild card or go run down Toronto, because at the time of the deadline, everyone was like, how much better can this team get so we can run down Toronto? That was the plan. And all of a sudden, you go deal for McMahon, and Scott Ross brings up Hayes is hitting 290. So again, this type of stuff is in hindsight. I agree with you. Like, I'm on your side, and Jake, I'm on your side on this. Hayes would have obviously been a better pickup. He's cheaper. He's performing better, again, in hindsight. However, the Yankees essentially went from a cheap asset at third base who couldn't hit a lick, but he can pick it, to getting a guy who I will admit is a better defender than Peraza. He's a better defender. Vinny, I hate you.
Oh, Vinny, we appreciate you.
Vinny, thank you for the 2.
I saw that immediately, and I was like, we need to, I'd rather.
We brought in someone more expensive who is a better defender. I will admit that.
He is, but
he's a better defender.
Much better.
But I mean, even if he was a platinum glove winner, you have to be able to hit to some level. Because remember, guys, for those of you who are on the fence, and I don't blame you for thinking this, that we need a third baseman defensively. Our infield defense has to improve. We'll pay the $16 million, get him over to third. Here's the issue. If he doesn't hit a lick, remember all the comments that we've been reading, all the supers, boomer bust, boomer bust. How does it help you become less boomer bust when you have a guy hiding in the 8 spot who is going to hit, he's hitting 130 his last 7 games. He's hitting 163 his last 15 games. How does that encourage that problem to just dissipate? How? It doesn't. That's the answer. So, Jake, I understand the concept of that they wanted to get better defensively, and they did that. They accomplished it. And if they wanted to pay a premium for it, I mean, I guess they could, but you have to have some bat behind it. That's also what should come with $16 million a year players that come with control next year and the year after that. So again, Vinny, as much as I didn't want to read that, thank you for bringing it to our attention.
It's so funny. And
I'm assuming that just popped in there.
By the way, my dad and I are having this discussion, and I always think, you said it best last year, and you just said it best last year. The reality is this, okay? Third base is a premium offensive position. You had Alex Rodriguez there. Like, that is what third base is, okay? You should have, like, your Aaron Judge top player should probably be a third baseman. That's normally, like, Rafael Devers plays third, right? Whatever. Right now, the Yankees, they went out. They did not get any discount on this. They paid prospects for a $16 million a year guy who has never once looked like Josh Donaldson. See, I can understand the Delulu thinking because Josh Donaldson was an MVP. Josh Donaldson was an elite player at one point. Just like Paul Goldschmidt, by the way. Paul Goldschmidt was an MVP. So I don't think it might come off as delusional with Josh Donaldson. I kind of felt like the Goldschmidt move made a lot of sense. But with Josh Donaldson, it did feel delusional. But at least here's the thing. You can understand where they're coming from. If he does get back any of that MVP status, this is a home run. Ryan McMahon has been an absolute mid player his entire career in Colorado. And so when we were comparing him and Hayes, right? My biggest thing about Ke'Bryan Hayes is that, first off, I saw world class. Scott, I'm going to disagree with you. Love you, Scott Ross. Going to disagree with you. He's not a world class defensive player. Ryan McMahon's good. Ryan McMahon is good. He's not world class. Outs above average is at 5. Ke'Bryan Hayes is world class outs above average is at 17. Excuse me. So
World
way better
class.
defender.
Ryan McMahon is a very good defender.
Yeah,
there's a
world class.
difference between guys. There's a difference between good, very good, and world class. If you're world class consistently, you can almost borderline go into the Hall of Fame with your glove alone.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. Nolan Arenado is world class. We remember Nolan Arenado was a platinum glove winner multiple times. Mm-hmm. That's world class. Is there no difference and no disparity at all between the two players? Ryan McMahon's not in that conversation. He's just not.
And then, by the way,
and I get it. The bat's not there, so it makes it even worse. But you get it.
Yeah. And then with Ke'Bryan Hayes, Gary, right? He's playing on a shitty team, but it has no benefit like Colorado. Everyone knows if you play in Colorado, you get that atmosphere, right? You have an advantage. It's why his home splits are so much better than his road splits. Really, it tells me who is Ryan McMahon? He's the road splits. He's the guy that's going to hover around a 600 OPS. Ke'Bryan Hayes doesn't have that benefit. Yeah. Ke'Bryan Hayes does not have that benefit. So it's going to bother me for a while. I don't know when I'm going to get over it. I hate it. I remember you saying it about Rodon. That's where I'm at, but like times a billion. Like I hate this move.
If you win the giveaway, you're not going to take a Ryan McMahon jersey.
Well, I would never win the giveaway. So
wouldn't that be funny?
We're not doing that.
Congratulations, boys, on 10,000 subscribers. Job well done. Our winner of the giveaway is Jake Ellenbogen.
That's
my
the
co-host.
secret for some of those, not all of them, but some of those aggregator accounts. We've talked about that before. The
giving
NFL
away
accounts. They did the fake
too.
giveaways. So they pumped up their X accounts. They had all of those followers on Twitter. Mm-hmm. And now you can just rebrand. People forget who you are, and then you just show up and you're like, yeah, I have 100,000.
Because you can people don't realize how this industry works. It really is you just cold calling people and be like, hey, man, will you sponsor our show? Will you let me do this with your product? People will try to give away a bunch of fake stuff. So again, guys, don't let us give away any fake crap or pretend to give something away. The person that receives what we're going to give away, because we're going to make sure it's a real person. We are. And we're going to obviously have our exchange with them, and they're going to hop right back in here and let you guys know. Because I just think it's ridiculous. We see that all the time. Zachary with the 5 says, what's the most important series remaining? Red Sox, Blue Jays, Tigers, or Astros? I'm going to say this. I'm going to go that Boston series. That Boston series is in Boston, right? And I know we also go on the road for some of these series as well. They're important. But if the Yankees can't prove at all that they can throw a punch back, I mean, aren't you just kind of standing out at recess getting punched by one team? You really are just, even if you're in the wild card, you're almost just a dead man walking.
The most important series?
Yeah, I'll go Boston. I just think you have to throw a punch at some point. I know you beat Dustin May. You need to go win a series. And I know that's tough at Fenway, but it has to be done.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the Red Sox, because I know the Blue Jays are right now the top dog in the AL East, but the Red Sox feel like they're the kryptonite. And I understand some people are gonna disagree and push back, and I get that, but the Red Sox and Dodgers are the biggest thorns in the Yankees side based on what I've seen. What I can't stand though is this whole. I'm not saying I disagree with you. And I was also having this conversation with my father today. Boone, right? Like, he has nobody's number, and Alex Cora and Dave Roberts have his number. And I just don't even think, I don't understand how that's even possible in baseball. I don't get it, because it's not one of those, you game plan a whole week for like the NFL. You're like, okay, yeah, they run cover 3 40% of the time. Their defense is this. We're going to attack them with this, whatever, right? You're playing baseball, right? Your decisions are made based on bullpen, based on, who you're going to bring in, your defensive alignments, which, by the way, by default, the Yankees always will, and it will never stop having the worst defensive alignment you'll ever see. But I don't understand where Alex Cora, there should be an excuse where Alex Cora, well, he just has Boone's number. How the hell does a manager have your number? What is a manager doing that has your number? What
Can
are
I
they
read you
scheming?
a quote from Alex Cora? He said this.
Oh,
This
God.
pregame. Oh yeah, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Which is, I just love to egg you on. So Alex
do.
Cora says it's fun to come here and play well. I'll tell you that. We play well here. We've been playing well here for a while. It's a great stage. We love it.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. He has played well. Put up or shut up. Show me, don't tell me. Well, how about this? I've already shown you. Now I'm going to tell you. That's what the Dodgers did. They showed you that they're better than you, and now they're going to tell you they're better than you. And the Yankees should be like, this is awesome. This is great. I can use this as a chip on my shoulder, right? And they told us that. This offseason, Boone's like, yeah, and Judge said, yeah, we're using it as a chip on your shoulder. Where's the chip? Where is that? Where'd that go?
I don't know. I feel like if you go out to recess and you're getting bullied by the same kid over and over again, eventually you go home and your parents go, hey, man, it's time for you to go over there and kick some ass. It's time to throw a punch back. They can't just be throwing you to the ground every day. You have to, if you're going to come home and be like, I can wait till I get at them, I'm going to show them. Well, if you don't show them, you're just going to get picked on Thursday, Friday, see you Monday. They're going to throw you right in a locker. That's what we are. We essentially are going to go dominate at recess, and then the cool kids are going to show up and start stuffing us in lockers. So, which is going to be those series in Houston, Boston. It sucks.
Yeah,
And
I love
Brian
this,
with
by
the
way.
5. Oh, go ahead and take it then. Go ahead.
The Yankees' biggest issue is Boone is a moron. Full stop. Like his stupidity has bled into the clubhouse. That's not sanitary. Crap coaching staff besides Blake. Boone gotta go ASAP. I mean,
At least
obviously
Blake's the outlier there. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, Blake is essentially the straw that stirs the drink. Okay, he's not Reggie Jackson, but if they didn't have Matt Blake, let's be real here for a sec. Okay, they didn't have Matt Blake to bail them out, because a lot of the time Matt Blake has bailed out Brian Cashman. Let's not skeet by that. Tim Hill was just a guy who wasn't catching on to teams.
Fernando
Cruz, Tim Hill. And that's the thing. They make that move for Fernando Cruz. That wasn't a good move. That was a move based on his body of work that didn't make any sense.
I
You are
will
going
give
entirely
Brian Cashman some credit for it, and this I'm again not enough credit to save his job or any of that.
Yeah.
But when they make the moves, they make those moves under the impression that the player we're giving them that staff. If we're bringing a hitter in, we're giving him our hitting coach, our analytics crew. If we bring in an arm, we bring in a Leiter Jr., he's got great splits against lefties, and we talked about all those numbers. And then he struggles against right-handed hitting. Okay, great. We're going to give him our staff. So I've given them credit for leaning on Matt Blake, which is essentially what you're saying, is that Matt Blake has really just put if you don't like our rotation and you don't like our bullpen, in a way, this is a much better version than you would ever get. If Larry Rothschild was here, we'd probably be a 71 win team.
Dude.
We wouldn't win any games.
It's so true. And that's the thing. Matt Blake has bailed them out of bad roster construction, bad bullpen construction. And this is the first year where it was that bad where Matt Blake's like, I got nothing. You're going to have to make a trade at the deadline. That's how bad it got. And so I feel like also Carlos Rodon would have been no different than Sonny Gray, would have been no different than Montas, right? What allowed Rodon to recover is how well he's worked with Matt Blake. I have no doubt about it, because he started off and it was like, oh man, this contract is terrible. This is awful.
What pitches was he throwing again, Jake? Do you remember exactly the pitches he threw?
I don't remember exactly the pitches he threw off the top of my head.
That's fine.
You probably do.
Oh, I do. This is the stuff.
Well, he was more of a power pitcher, right? He was more of a power
pitcher,
yeah,
which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. And this was the big gripe that they brought up. A-Rod, Derek Jeter, they talked about it. How can you be a 2-pitch pitcher, right? He came into this year and he's like, I'm going to work on that changeup. And I got on the broadcast and he hadn't shown us a lick yet. Nothing. No results to be found. However, I said He needs to work in a changeup, not just talk about it. You need to develop this pitch and you need to utilize it. If you don't do those two things, useless conversation. You might as well not even have talked to me. Then what did Rodon do? He added a sinker. He's worked in a cutter, right? Now, he doesn't use these pitches every single day, but he's got a wrinkle, and he keeps the ball in the ballpark more than he used to because of these developments, not being so one-dimensional, where he has to overpower you, and if he can't do that, he's useless. He's no longer that guy. Now, I'm not going to have revisionist history of what's happened the last several weeks. He just had a good start. But I'm going to say, overall, Rodon's been good this year because of those adjustments. Matt Blake has a huge role in that. So, obviously, credit to Matt Blake. And Nick, welcome in, becoming a Yankees Unloaded member.
Field level.
Field level. Nick, thank you.
You.
Welcome aboard. And Robert, with the 200, I'm not sure what currency I'm looking at.
I'm gonna. All right. So I have actually done my research on all these currencies. This is Argentinian pesos, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
So I assume
in
this
the
is
90s.
a 10. So this is a tenner. I'm guessing. So Robert, thank you for the 10. Says Stanton in right field has to be managed carefully due to his fragility. Stanton getting hurt and missing playoffs is what's at risk. Nowhere near comparable to taking Judge out of right field. Go ahead. You want to see Stanton miss playoffs. So mind you guys, honestly, if that's the way that we're going to look at it, that an extra inning or two of being out in the outfield could be the difference between someone existing or not, and then also running the risk of us, say, just losing the game, right? At that time of when we did that, it was still a game, right? The final score wasn't the score at that time. So that's our issue with this. We're not, Robert, unfortunately, we're not in a position to take Giancarlo out and minimize risk. We're not in that spot, and I would love for us to be in it. Now, if we were in it, if we were in Toronto's situation and we could just, right, Freaky Friday our way right into their situation, I would love to jump on that fence with you and say, let's get him off the field and make sure he's there for the postseason.
I agree completely.
But we're sitting here fighting for our lives. And you know what? If we are fighting tooth and nail and you're out there, we have to win two games, right? The difference between hosting a wild card or not is Giancarlo being out in the field for another what, 10, 15 innings? If he ends up getting hurt, it's unfortunately the cost of doing business. And if we don't want to do that, then you just have to hope that Aaron Judge can get back onto the field. But if he can't, you don't get the opportunity of playing it safe. So I would love to play it safe. We haven't deserved that level of, I guess we don't have that option, unfortunately.
No, I agree. And I think that's really what I get at when I get as mad as I do about Stanton not being in the lineup or Caballero not being in the lineup. The Yankees operate with no urgency. And it's not like, obviously people know this, but it's the fact that it's almost like this inner arrogance that they have where they're like, we're the Yankees. Like, we're not worried. It's like, bitch, you're in third place in the AL East right now. You should be worried. That's my issue. You know, it's like imagine this, Gary. You're a team trying to get into the playoffs in any sport, right? Mm-hmm. You need to win the last game of the year and you rest your starters. That's the Yankees. They're like they act like they have these premiums. They're like in this luxury position. You are not. I hate to break it to you. You're that team that needs to play their starters every single day.
That actually reminds me of when LeBron won his first title in the NBA in 2012. And I was watching every minute of it, every single minute. And I was so curious when he was finally going to win a championship. And it really dawned on me in Game 5 against OKC. I was like, oh, wow, they're easily winning this game. Like, this game is a wrap. They're up 30 you're talking about early fourth quarter. Why are they in the game? And it really dawned on me. They were so concerned with running through the finish line, they didn't even think about going to the bench. LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, all three future Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
More than likely. And they were all on the court. because they just felt at the time, we don't have any time. There's no breaks. There's none of that. And I understand it. Again, what Robert is really bringing up is sort of that mention of good problems to have, right? We have depth. We have a Caballero who can flip out to the outfield. Just because you have an option doesn't mean you should use it. And so that's where I'm at in this situation. I would love for the Yankees to do it, but we haven't earned it. And Apex, you can go ahead. Not running the risk again. Apex with the 2 says Volpe sitting to psych out in 7th with Devin Williams. Now, I'm going to give Devin Williams some credit here. This is very difficult for him.
He was great
You have to remember, he was great today. He's been pretty good of late. Not perfect, but he's trending the right direction. This is difficult. When you're a closer and you've been pitching brilliantly with Milwaukee, you obviously had the hiccup in that at bat, right? With Alonso, with the Mets. That sucks. However, that wasn't your contract year. This is. And when Devin Williams gets traded over here, he's thinking to himself, oh, this is perfect. I've got a brilliant setup man who can tee me up in these perfect situations. And the best of yet, I'm going to be competing late in the postseason. The Yankees just won a pennant. If I pitch well, I'm going to cash out. We're talking Josh Hader numbers, right? I'm looking 5 years, $100 million. It sounds ridiculous, but when you perform as a reliever, they throw stupid money at these guys. They do. And so you do that, and now you've lost his closer's role. Weaver gets hurt. We give it back to you essentially out of force. You give it up again, and you're booed off the field. And here he stands in late August, and he's finally getting back on the horse. Now, is he back on the horse permanently to finish the race? Maybe not. But Jake, this is not easy to do. To pitch in these type of situations when you've been this type of pitcher your whole life that's trusted in the 9th inning. And for the most part, you've done a really good job. So, yeah, Devin Williams right now for the Yankees, this is a gut check. It is. I don't expect him to sit up there and cry on the mound. I don't expect that. But he's finding ways to perform. So I want to give him the opportunity to at least hear some type of positivity and credit because he's going out there in really unimportant situations for the most part, and he's finding ways to perform.
It's interesting with Devin Williams. I kind of go back and forth on him because I know people are going to say no on this, but let's just say he finishes this season, looks really good.
Yeah.
Do you consider just letting him go? Like you don't want to even chance bringing him back and maybe work another off season with Matt Blake? I mean, I think I would bring him back depending on how the season goes. Now, if it doesn't go well and say his value doesn't go down enough where you're getting a deal, I'm not paying top dollar. I'm not about to get burned the Dodgers got with Tanner Scott, right? I'm not going to give him $15 million, but if he's a 6 to 8, I think I would consider it, Gary. I'm actually
so
at
you're
that
talking
point.
that Chad Green territory where maybe 1 year deal, 6 to 7 million. For me personally, I wouldn't do it, but I see the angle. You're talking about a dominant finish through. We get to a wild card, maybe we get into a division series. He's never a problem. He shuts it down right away, like he did 2 or 3 years ago in Milwaukee. If he does those type of things, then what's $5 or $6 million to the Yankees? It's not going to be a problem. Well, and just understand, right, true. You're not going to be the closer of this team in 2026. You're just going to be an arm. Yeah. I think that as long as that's the case, again, I wouldn't do it. But if you're going to buy into this for another year, based on how he finishes this season when it matters most, then it just shouldn't be as closer. I think I've given up on that.
Yeah, no, and if he wants to be a closer, I could see him leaving, right? Even if the Yankees offer him, I could totally see him leaving. And maybe that is what's best for him, and he realizes, it's cool, it's been real, but it's just not a great fit. That is what it is. But if he wanted to come back, the money was fair, and he finished the season strong. And keep in mind, all those things are ifs. He needs to finish the season strong. If he gets blown up tomorrow, gets blown up the next day, and then he just keeps getting destroyed, I'm not his value will be so low, you could just buy low on him. I'll be no, it's just not a fit, right? You just move on. But if he shows that there's something there worth working on with Matt Blake, I mean, I don't see how giving him a 1 year deal is a bad idea. I mean, you know him better than anybody except for the Brewers. So
it's not a ton of risk. Let's be honest.
No, I don't think it's a ton of risk at all. But also Luke Weaver's a free agent too, so they'll have to figure that out. And
by the way,
we'll see with
Slim super chats here. Slim, thank you for the 5. We really appreciate it. Slim Lewis says the Yankees suck right now. Dustin May is horrible, and we rely on home run or nothing. Pretty much the gist.
Yeah.
Watch Volpe start Monday in G6. So we have confirmation that Anthony Volpe is sitting this following game, so you can rest, Slim.
But he's playing Tuesday.
He's playing Tuesday.
I don't know why we needed to know this. I would have just rather not known this.
Can I ask you a question, Jake? I actually have a real question, a genuine question.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you know on August 24th who's playing on the 26th? Why? Unless you're playing the same players every day and it's like stationary and no one moves. Why would you know this?
Because they have this plan and they think they're better than every single team. Like the way they operate, they have their own analytics, they have their own auditing team. Like it's become a joke, Gary. It really has. So you're telling me that nothing that Caballero did today was going to change the fact that Anthony Volpe is going to play on Tuesday. That's
you are
stupid.
Kidding me. You're not going to believe what I just read.
Do I want to know?
Yeah, you do.
Ooh.
So Blue Gold, again, I haven't confirmed this, but I would assume this is true.
Oh boy.
Blue Gold jumped in our live. So again, guys, thank you for getting involved in our live and helping the chat go. Love the community that we're building. I mean, we really appreciate it. Blue Gold comes in here and said Mackenzie Gore is pitching Tuesday. There's your answer.
So they're hitting us with he's good against lefties.
Yep. What are his numbers, by the way, against lefties? Just so that we have full context, because I want to know what they are.
Anthony Volpe, okay,
yep. Mm-hmm.
He's hitting 270 and has a 786 OPS against lefties.
Okay, that's not terrible.
Yeah, but like, why are we acting like he's Ted Williams when going up against left-handed pitching?
No, it's definitely not something where you're like similar to what Paul Goldschmidt does, right?
Like Goldschmidt is Ted Williams against the numbers speak for themselves.
They're great. Yep.
Yeah. But
those numbers are those numbers, we've got to find a way to get him in the lineup in that situation. Anthony Volpe is just much better against lefties in comparison to who he is against righties.
I can tell you what it is.
What is it?
Anthony Volpe has a different approach against lefties. It's clear. You could actually see it in the splits. I don't even have to watch it. I know he has a different approach. Guess what? What if I told you his 18 home runs, 14 of them are against right-handed pitching, only 4 against left-handed? Yeah, he has a better average, he has a better on-base percentage, and he has a better slugging percentage against left-handed pitching.
Yeah,
he has a different
somebody
approach.
Would definitely tell you, and I'm on your side. I actually agree with you 100%. Someone would say, well, the majority of who he faces against righties, so that's why he hits the majority of his home runs, and that's true. But to suggest that, you said 4 home runs, right, against lefties?
Yeah, 4.
How many at-bats did he take against lefties?
I mean, it's 126, but still.
That's a lot, Jake.
Yeah.
It's a lot of at-bats.
Only
4 home runs and
home
120 runs. Plus at-bats. It goes to show you that he's committed to being a hitter against lefties. And for whatever reason, against righties, he's going to go out there and I'm going to try and hit a home run. Yeah. It doesn't work. It just doesn't. So, again, we rooted for this to work, and it just hasn't worked. It's something that people can say what they want about hating and whatever they want to say. It's just not. He shouldn't be in the lineup. I just think Caballero should play until you see evidence otherwise. That's just.
And I've made this clear. I don't care about the splits anymore, unless you're
poor Jake.
Again, I know.
Wait, do you see this?
Unless you're Paul Goldschmidt, I don't care about the splits. Like, you have to clearly have an advantage. I told you the other day, Ben Rice didn't play. Ben Rice has not gone against lefties enough for us to know if he's good against lefties. It's that simple. Or bad. Either way. They're just like, yeah, he's bad stats in what he's faced. Well, he hasn't faced a ton of lefties. So as far as I'm concerned, I have no idea, right? No idea if Ben Rice can hit lefties or if he can't hit lefties. What I do know is that the Yankees don't believe he can. Well, that'd be great if the Yankees were the Dodgers or, they were an organization like in the past. But they're the Yankees. They're this new age MIT, AI, right? Analytics over feel team. And I don't trust anything that they do. Like, I literally don't trust a single thing. Oh, we have this awesome bat, so we move the label. It's called the torpedo bat. It's going to help Anthony Volpe be good at hitting. Anthony Volpe is never going to be good at hitting. So, like, you can make a bat out of,
Is there any shape of a bat that we can make? What shape bat would we have the shape? You should not have said
that. I already know the comment section is going to go wild with that.
Guys, what shape does the bat have to be? We could probably give him, like, I don't know, like a ping pong paddle.
Oh, my God. Gary, I have it.
Yeah, what would work?
Did you ever see Green Lantern?
No, hell no.
Okay. Well, in Green Lantern, or just any Green Lantern, if you've ever seen it.
Nope.
They can manipulate, like, the lantern. They can turn it into any shape. So, like, basically, you could just make, like, it could take up the entire... So, like, you're just pitching into the bat. He would need that.
It sounds like something out of Mario. The bat shape wasn't... It's interesting that we haven't gone away from this because technically speaking, the Yankees think
he needs the
there's
Super
no
Smash
reason.
Brothers bat. That's what he needs.
Oh, the hammer. They essentially
There we go.
think the only reason that we would ever change the bat, the only reason we changed it is because the majority of the time that he makes contact on the bat itself, like the bat is this. Majority of the contact he makes is on this one spot, so there's no logical explanation of why we should move the meat of that bat. But at some point or another, the Yankees do have to recognize that since he put that bat in his hand, he's been exponentially worse. So I get what they're saying about if he makes contact on that part of the barrel, that it's going to improve the contact and he may hit a home run he otherwise wouldn't with a regular bat. That's all fair. But maybe it would help Anthony Volpe to realize, I can't hit the ball on my hands and hit a home run, and he would try to just hit line drives instead. Because it seems like we've set him up a bat where he can try to hit a home run he shouldn't. And it's unfortunate. And Nate Rodriguez with the 2 says McMahon is Joey Gallo 2.0. I would say he's not, just because Joey Gallo actually couldn't execute what he was executing before we traded for him. If Joey Gallo struck out 200 times but hit 45 home runs for the Yankees, I think a lot of fans would have been pretty excited. But Ryan McMahon, on the other hand, as Jake pointed out, and Jake, I'm glad you brought this up, and we won't rehash it overall.
Yeah,
but Ryan McMahon is actually... I know, I'm sorry. He is doing exactly what he was doing in Colorado, which is hitting 210, not hitting a lick, not hitting any home runs outside of Coors Field. And guess where he is? Outside of Coors Field. He's not hitting, but he's a great fielder. So I think Ryan McMahon is exactly what we traded for. I'm not going to harp on him too long, but Nate, thank you for the 2. And again, guys, if you're new here, please be sure to subscribe. We're getting very close to 10,000 subscribers. We really appreciate you guys giving away a Yankees jersey of your choice at 10,000. We will announce that live on the podcast. If you're with us at Apple Podcasts, didn't realize how many listeners we had there. Drop us a 5-star review. Would love that. Obviously, we would love it even more if you hop over to YouTube. But, I mean, I guess beggars can't be choosers. And Peace Geek with the 5 says, if the Yankees, Peace, thank you. If the Yankees make the playoffs, what's it going to take realistically to change the mentality? I just think they'll go forward business as usual. So to answer this short and sweet, because Jake, I'm curious to what you think about this. Mm-hmm. My feeling is this is a winter decision to change our mentality. I don't think, Peace, if you're thinking that we're going to go into Houston or we're going to go into Fenway, and you're going to start seeing 2-out hitting and guys going first to third and suddenly impressing you on the bases, not stolen bases, because that's still in its own right impressive. It's difficult to steal bases, and they've been doing that. But being a smart baseball team that's trying to execute on the fundamentals, that won't happen until they genuinely change it in the winter, where it's just a league, a team-wide decision. And I don't think it can happen in the regular season. I don't.
Yeah, no, I get that. I totally agree. I don't think with Aaron Boone that they can make crazy, like, on-the-go changes to their mentality. He's been here since 2018. That doesn't just go away, and you don't just change what you're doing. It's the same person. Like, yeah, I know. I'm trying to be better at socializing, but like, I don't know. It's a lot of work. Those people don't get better at socializing.
So
they just
true.
don't do it.
Never.
They'll always tell you. They'll take you aside and be like, yeah, it's just not me. I've been working at it. It's just not me. And it's like, that's cool. But that's who that person is, right? Mm-hmm. Aaron Boone is that guy that's going to literally manage the bullpen into the ground. Everybody is going to be burned out by October. The pitchers are babied, so they know, like, I mean, literally Rodon is like screaming at the umpire because he knows Boone's going to pull him. Like, he's just like, oh, shit. I know he's coming out to hook me.
He probably should be freaking out, because if you essentially, in the 5th inning, walk a dude and someone's warming up, he's not going to give you any say.
Yeah.
Based on how it goes, if you're at 92, 93 pitches, you very well could be out of that game. It doesn't matter what we pay you, what the expectation was of your innings before the season started. They will pull you at any point, and it's going to be very conservative. It will be. So, peace. It's not going to change. Not now. Not now. And Apex with the 2 says keep Trent.
Yeah, it's not.
Belly, trade, JD, obviously talking about Jason Dominguez, eat Wells for 2026. Just love how that's written. Yeah.
What does that mean? I know what it means, but
I would like to have Trent Grisham back, especially if he's going to be this version of himself. But again, I'm a little hesitant. Maybe I'm by myself in this. Maybe. Because if I'm getting this version of Trent Grisham, I mean, I'd sign up for any day of the week. I would love it. Yeah. But I just try not to just have recency bias. And we're talking about 2025, not the last 3 weeks. Trent Grisham's been awesome the whole year. He's been great. And yet, in 2024, wasn't good enough to play over Alex Verdugo. Not literally. He probably easily could have played over him, but they didn't. The Yankees didn't think he was. And then, in 2023 and prior, Trent Grisham wasn't playing great baseball. He's playing great ball for us. And so he did it in 1 year, and then now you're being asked, because you didn't play him last year, so you didn't get a sample size of 2 years, which I would have loved to have, Jake. Would have loved it. Now you have to give him an extension. Now, I'm not going to cry if we do, because I'm going to hope that he's this. But I'm going to say on Trent Grisham, I'm just not sure on him. Cody Bellinger couldn't be more sure. Would love to have him. Would love to have him until he retires. And I'm not going to commit to this whole Jason Dominguez thing. I just know he can't catch fly ball, so I don't know what to do with him.
We should consider doing a video on like explaining the New York Yankees 2025 season in the most casual way possible. Mm-hmm. Be like, yeah, Jason Dominguez can't catch a fly ball, so I don't know what to do with him. Anthony Volpe can't throw a ball, so I don't know what to do with him. Ryan McMahon just sucks. Like, it's just, we could do like a 5-minute video, like 2025 Yankees for dummies. There we go.
Yeah, it would be, it'd be entertaining for us for sure.
It would.
Craig Landry with the 2 says,
I don't know what this is. So 30 balls called strike with the Sox. Up at bat, fake W.
Oh, so I was covering this at the beginning of the game. I said, yeah, the zone is not very good. And by the way, I didn't think it was favorable for Boston. I didn't. I'm fair. I am.
I thought it was terrible for New York. And I think that's why
at some point
Rodon was barking, because Wells gets punched out on a ball that's way below the strike zone, and then Rodon throws that same pitch on a 2-2 count, and he doesn't get the call. And he's like, are you kidding me? You literally gave it to him the last inning.
No, so we agreed by the time the game had ended, there were terrible calls on both sides. Yeah. I'm just strictly talking about the beginning of the game. I thought it was heavily against Boston. Now, again, it's not a matter of, fake W, or it's a matter of they had intention on a certain result. This just happens. It just does.
It does. It does. They just all suck, and we need to. And I don't want it. I don't want the ABS system, Gary. I want exactly what we saw tonight. The ESPN. ESPN has a 3D strike zone that shows like every ounce of it being hit by the ball track. Why? if we have that technology to be aired on a nationally telecasted game, why the hell do you not have the technology to make that the norm? I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. So you're telling me the people at home know what a strike and a ball is quicker, more efficiently, and immediately, but the umpire, the umpire doesn't, the batters don't, the pitchers don't, the coaching staff doesn't. It's insane. It's stupid. It's just dumb at this point. And the ABS system is just challenge.
So Craig,
I don't want
hear
that.
you. I hear you on the zone. The zone wasn't good today. It wasn't. And I think both sides could have just used confirmation bias.
Yeah.
If I'm a Yankees fan, I could have easily been like, well, where's Rodon's call? And this at bat, it was a huge at bat, right? You draw a walk, you shouldn't have, whatever it is. Boston can say in first 2-3 innings, you're just taking the bat off our shoulder and you have a case. I'm not going to sit here and argue against you. I think you have a point. And Bob EJ with the 2 says, sup guys, can they form chemistry before October? Probably not. No. And Jose, and again, Bob, thank you. Jose G Insight with the 2 says, we got 5 weeks, 2 tune-up. Let's go Yanks. Anything can happen. So at least we got some positivity here, which is evident with the picture. So Jose is unbothered by the Yankees, which is nice because not everything has to be negative, even though even if majority feel a certain type of way. The Yankees lose 3 straight to Boston. They're our daddy so far, and they deserve it. Alex Cora shows up with confidence pre-game to Game 4. Yeah, we beat these guys all the time. What else should he say? He's right. They beat us all the time. And yet, Jose brings up the point, the season's not officially over yet. We've got more baseball to be played. Now, I don't know what they do at those games. Based on recent history, we just imagine they do the same thing. But, Jose, you're absolutely right. Technically, we're not dead yet. And Jack, with the 7, says, Jays are sitting Vlad right now. LOL, bang on. Thanks for beating the Sox. By the way, love the show, even though I don't like the Yankees. Boone is the best manager in baseball. So obviously, being very sarcastic there. And I did see that Vladimir Guerrero Jr., I don't know if you saw this, Jake. He was dealing with a little bit of a hamstring issue. I was watching a game, this I think about 3 days ago, and he looked into the dugout and he was like, hey, there's something going on with my hammy, and he came out of the game. Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm not diagnosing him. I'm not saying it's a long-term issue. But I know that anytime you deal with a hamstring, we saw Trent Grisham deal with a hammy earlier this year, not usually something that just heals overnight. Now, if they can get someone who's actively dealing with an injury off the field, I'm sure that they would like to do it, especially with a lead in the division that they've earned. They had to beat us to earn that lead. They did that. So it'll be interesting to see what Toronto does, because they won enough baseball games, whether you think they're a great team or not, to be in the position that they're in. They can afford to take their best player off the field.
Yeah, no, that's true. And it comes back. It's funny how things just connect in our show. But it comes back to the fact, they're in a position and they can do that and they can operate how the Yankees operate. The Yankees shouldn't be operating how they operate because they're not in that position. So that's that. And sup, guys, can they form chemistry before October?
Oh, we already got to that.
We did. Did we?
Yep.
Dude, it's a blur because I'm looking at super chats. I'm looking at comments. I'm trying to because I want to I want to read all. I try to read all the comments while we're live. So
yeah, no, I read them as well. I still see my mom in there. I saw some people in the comments are like, I think it's interesting, Gary, that your mom's in the comments. I'm like, I think it's crazy too. I definitely would have never thought I'd have my mom listening to Yankees baseball and know who Austin Wells is. But here we are. She knows the whole roster, and it's probably made her life worse.
Yeah,
But
it's definitely
obviously
made her
thank
life
you,
worse.
Mom,
It's
for being here, of
definitely
course.
taken years off your mom's life. So
Yeah.
I guess we're to blame for that. You're definitely to blame for that. And Boondoggle is at it again. Ninja Hot Dog, appreciate the 5, and we'll get to your voicemail after we finish these super chats. Not gonna lie, I'm done drinking the cool Blake. There are lots more failure stories than success stories with our pitchers.
Interesting.
I'm doubting how good Blake is. That's interesting. I kind of understand this because you see guys like a Devin Williams, and it seems like the big names don't do as well. Doval is really struggling. But I just think what Matt Blake does is he's so quick to solve the issue. And he realizes, like, the issue isn't that bad. We can fix it. Hey, throw more of this pitch. Throw less of this pitch. And we've seen it. Different grips on the pitch, right? We've seen that with different players. Like an Ian Hamilton, who he turned into somebody that can be a part of a bullpen at any point in his career. Tim Hill, right? Michael Tonkin. These are guys that had the stuff or close to the stuff or potentially had stuff, and he got the most out of them. So I think really, in a nutshell, there are two players, in my opinion, that separate Matt Blake from everybody. Michael King and his success and the job he did developing him, and Luke Weaver. And if you look at those two guys, I just think that to me is Matt Blake in a nutshell, and that is a damn good pitching coach, and he might be the best in the league.
Yeah, he has some wins. I would say more wins than losses, but you can't ignore the losses. The losses are there as well.
Yeah, they are.
I see it right now, and I'm going to obviously pop it up on the screen. So, Ninja, thank you for doing so. In the live chat, says guys like Chapman leave, and they're great. Aroldis Chapman, at one point, we were like, we don't even have any use for him. We don't even have use for how bad this is. He's blowing big games. He's blowing games that should just be in the bag. We're up 3. Can't throw a strike. And mind you, it's still Aroldis Chapman, and you can mention the differences between pitching in New York versus Boston. But guys, if guys that play for the Boston Red Sox can just walk into New York and then perform under the lights in New York, it's not a problem for them to play for the Yankees. It's not like they have to stand on one leg. They just wear pinstripes. Let's stop overdoing it. If Aroldis Chapman, we have no use for him, and then years go by, and he's pitching to an ERA. What is his ERA? 1?
Yeah, it's something crazy right now.
It's absolute lunacy how well he's pitching. Now, the Yankees should have had a way to find a way to fix that. I think what Matt Blake does really well, the strength of what he does, actually isn't, say we trade for a Paul Skeens, I don't think his job as Matt Blake and the pitching coach of the Yankees and what he does well necessarily unlocks a new version of Paul Skeens per se. But I think what Matt Blake does well is he can look at a pitcher. He's got an ERA of 5. He's got a wipeout splitter, a hanging slider, and then an okay fastball. I think he can diagnose what's wrong with a guy that's a fringe player that can be effective for the Yankees long term, at least for the year. I think he does that better than any pitching coach in the league. I think if you threw Fernando Cruz to the majority of pitching coaches, they would have done nothing with him, and he would have been cut, right? Same thing with Mark Leiter Jr. I think he joins this team, and you say, he didn't pitch really that well in Chicago, giving up a ton of runs. He comes here to New York, and they say, we want you to throw actually your breaking stuff more. That's the adjustment. We want you to get to, instead of worrying about getting to that breaking stuff, just use the breaking stuff. And if you want to surprise them with a fastball, you can do that later. And if you want to go back to the breaking stuff, you can do it. A different game plan, and it works. So Matt Blake, is he overrated? I don't think so. I really like Matt Blake, and I think it helps the Yankees, especially just overall. But there's definitely a case to be made that he doesn't really do a whole lot with the big and sexy names, the players under contract.
No, I like the way you worded that. And then Cedric here, I kind of agree. I mean, that's the thing. It has to be a mutual thing. Like, I'm not saying he's going to want to come back. I don't actually expect him to want to come back. And I feel like the low pressured environment, like I could see him going back to the Brewers. I could see him going to
I think he's going to the Dodgers.
I could see the Dodgers, but again, more of a high pressure situation. I mean, look at what Tanner Scott did, right? Tanner Scott has been an absolute flop. The difference between the Yankees and the Dodgers is that Tanner Scott would be on the team next year. The Yankees would be like, we're already paying him a lot of money. And then they would use him as an excuse as to why they can't pay other guys money, right? Whereas the Dodgers will be like, oh, it didn't work. I mean, yeah, I guess we'll continue to pay him. We'll just keep on the roster, and hopefully it figures out. But we're going to go and get another guy because if he doesn't work out, we're not going to let that hit us beat us twice. And, I've already talked ad nauseum, as you have, about how the Yankees don't have a true $300 million payroll. It's really 250, if even, because they're always paying guys on the back end of bad contracts.
I feel like we're like student loans. We're like paying interest and just paying.
Anthony Rizzo, $11 million buyout, a guy that isn't even on a roster right now. How about what was it? Stroman, $18 million. Obviously, we know he's done after the year. They're not paying him next year. But $18 million, a guy, he's still not on a roster. DJ LeMahieu, $15 million, not just this year, but also next year, not on a roster. So
McMahon, $16 million. It's a lot of money.
McMahon, a guy no one wanted at the deadline. I don't care what anyone says. I don't think anybody aside from the Yankees was actually willing to trade for that contract. That was awful.
Not for them taking none of the money. I think you can justify Ryan McMahon on this roster if Colorado probably took, I don't know, $8 million a year off that deal.
More
and
like
I'd say, all right,
12 out of 16.
Say $8 million is like, I would agree with you. I do.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the same kind of deal as Hayes, right? It's 7 or 8 million, we can live with it. But 16 million is big cash, right? We were trying to move Marcus Stroman over $18.5 million. So it tells you that's the territory where it starts to actually matter.
Yeah.
But I would agree with you. Someone's going to throw a bag, a short-term bag. It's not going to be a 5-year deal, but a 1-year, $12 million deal, because it's Devin Williams. They're going to pay him for what he did in Milwaukee. And that staff that acquires him is going to say, no, maybe Matt Blake didn't do anything with him. We think we can. Maybe our environment will unlock Milwaukee Devin Williams. That's going to be the catch. And obviously, if Devin Williams shows that he can figure it out here at the end with the Yankees, it's going to be even easier for him to go get that bag. So we wish him the best of luck. I'm never rooting against somebody to go get paid. And Michael McDonald with the 2 says, why won't Wells get as much hate as Volpe? He stinks. I can answer this actually short and sweet because it's just true. Mm-hmm. Because no one thought Austin Wells was going to be great in the first place.
I thought he'd be good, but not great. Not like Volpe.
They never were telling us that Austin Wells, they may have told us that Austin Wells would be a good player and a potential starter for the Yankees, and that's, an important role in its own right, certainly.
And
but
Wells is still
Anthony
better.
Volpe was, no, we don't need Corey Seager. We don't need Corey Seager. We don't need to trade for Francisco Lindor. We don't need these players. So I understand that you want to go spend another $300 million on whatever player, but we've got this kid and we're going to be patient with him. Guys, it can't always be free agents. Prospects, big time, highly rated prospects matter too. And they sold you guys on what this was going to be. It wasn't Austin Wells. It was Anthony Volpe. So Michael, if you want to know why people are so pissed off and they criticize Anthony Volpe at a different level, it's because there's a different level of expectations in what they sold us. So I just think it's as simple as that.
Yeah, and also, Wells is just a better player. I mean, I understand he's older, but, they're very similar bat-wise. They must have the same amount of home runs, RBIs, all that. Wells is one of the best catchers in baseball. If you take away the bat, just everything that he does, he is. Anthony Volpe, we thought, was up there as, a top 10 shortstop. He's a bottom 5 shortstop right now. He has a -7 outs above average. I'm not kidding you. Whereas Austin Wells has a +3 blocks above average. His caught stealing above average is -1, so he's not the best. His framing is in the 94th percentile, right? Mm-hmm. His pop time is improved, but still not great in the 34th percentile. But his fielding run value, a 7, 90th percentile. So Austin Wells, make no mistake about it, is really good at the defensive portion of his game. And the offensive portion, he's shown flashes. Anthony Volpe's actually never had, I don't believe, he's ever had a month that Austin Wells had in July and August. So we've actually seen more out of Austin Wells. And again, I know he's 4 years older. Or no, he's not. He's 2 years older. But yeah, I think that's really what it is. In combination of what you're saying, I think Austin Wells is just a better player.
Yeah, less expectations, slightly better player.
Yeah.
Right? He's good on one side, whereas the other player is inconsistent on one side and absolute dookie cheeks on the other. That's going to get you criticized. So when you're playing, just ask yourself, who should be more criticized, the catcher or the shortstop? Shortstop. It's just that simple. You're playing short. I don't care what team you're playing for. If you're the shortstop, expectations should be high. And John Kirk, our final super chat, and then we'll get to our voicemails because I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
John with the 5, thank you, John, says, who are they calling up next Monday? What's your answer, Jake?
Well, they got 2 call-ups. They got a pitcher and a hitter because it goes to 28, I believe. So pitcher, I feel like as much as I want to, say somebody cool, it's not.
ERC?
It's not going to be ERC. It's just not. There's no way. Let's see the Yankees 40-man roster. Let's just be boring as hell. I want to be right, not just like what I wish.
No,
would
that's
happen.
fair because what type of value? If we just say what we think it should be, and then they just throw some jabroni sandwich on the field.
So September call-ups, you're probably going to get like Ian Hamilton.
Are you serious? I wasn't expecting you to say that.
Maybe Jake Bird.
Yeah, I was going to say, what if it's Bird? Which you did say he was getting shelled by minor leaguers.
Yeah.
Which isn't good.
No, that's not good.
Has it taken a turn? I don't know if you know.
And then it'll be JC Escara.
I'm curious.
It won't be Spencer Jones. I'm telling you right now. I thought it was going to be. No. It might even be Austin Slater, but I'm going to probably say he's injured and probably not. So it's going to be B-Boss or Escara.
I just tried to upload Jake Bird's stats and the whole website just shut down. It just completely crashed.
Nope. not allowed. They're too bad.
Yeah, I think it could be Jake Bird. Like they could just call him up and it could be that.
If you ever wanted to just fuck a game up or destroy everything that you're doing, just call Jake Bird up.
Wait, like 59.
Who needs, think about this, who needs a battering ram? Who needs a wrecking ball for a house when you have Jake Bird? He'll just destroy it all. Like just by him existing. Jake Bird would be awful. Like Blackburn shouldn't be on this team. Jake Bird shouldn't be on this team. No. Absolutely not. But you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. And that is just kind of the clownery that is the New York Yankees right now. Is that you have Spencer Jones, who has 32 home runs in the minors, won't get called up. We're just going to continue to wait, even though I don't even know why at this point. You're not manipulating his service time if it's September call-ups, right? But they'll give us some reason. Oh, yeah, Spencer Jones, we can't wait to see what he can do next year. But, yeah, we're not going to call him up. We're actually going to call up your B-Boss. Or we're gonna call up JC Escara. Be like, oh, sick. So you don't actually care about anything.
Nope. They're
you were just told. You were just told. You were given an assignment. Hey, you have 2 more player spots. Can you fill those? And they didn't look at like, oh, see if we filled them with like good players, this could actually help our roster. No, they're like, oh, let's just throw Jake Bird out there and JC Escar. That's what's gonna end up happening. They don't care. They have to prove it to me, Gary. They don't care. So, I don't know.
Yeah, and by the way, without throwing phone numbers up on the screen, do we have our voicemail situation set up?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, beautiful. Obviously, the most important thing is that we don't dox our diamond levels.
No, we don't want that. All right, here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
What's up, Gary and Jake? This is Ed W. and my daughter Elle.
Hey.
Calling just after the Jazz
What's up,
Chisholm
guys?
Square Button home run. Just wanted to thank you guys for a great show, and hopefully we can call you back and let you know that the Red Sox got crushed today.
Let's go, Yankees.
I love that. The square button. That I love that voicemail. The square button home run. I felt that.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that.
Because you can
Ed,
hit a home run in
appreciate
MLB
you.
The Show. Yeah, Ed, thank you. That's awesome. You can hit a home run in MLB The Show with the square button, but anyone who plays the game consistently, they don't touch the square button. They don't. It's not a consistent way to play the game. It's an amateur way to play. And anytime you tell one of your buddies who's never played the game, they're like, wait a minute, I just tapped square and it swung. You're like, no, so you can hit the square button and it'll even swing harder. You'll hit it. You're not as likely to get a hit, but if you hit it, it might go out of the stadium. What does the amateur do? They hit square the whole time, and they never hit a thing. The whole time.
So, let's see. Oh, yeah. So then Ed did call back and leave another voicemail.
What's up, guys? At W and L, say hi. All right, happy to report a victory. Currently trying to get away from the massholes who are upset that this is the one game they bought tickets to that they didn't win. But
That's on them.
I feel like we need to talk about two things. One, Carlos Rodon's 5 walks put the Yankees in number 5 in walks this season of all teams. That's more than Colorado, and the teams ahead of them are not good. How do we fix that? Number 2, did not agree with the decision to pull Stanton hitting second in the 8th inning. Like to hear some thoughts about that. Let's go Yankees.
Yeah, Yankees.
I love that.
This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. So we did address the Giancarlo thing. We hated it. We didn't like it. And we understood the concept as to why someone would defend it if we were in a great situation overall as a team. So I'm going to address this, the walk situation. I'm going to tell you guys something. If players have zero expectation, for staying in games, and we're not going to pick on any one player, right? There's Rodon, there's Fried, there's Schlittler, there's Warren, right? Now, we've heard all day long about confidence. Confidence is trusting your stuff and being over the plate, throwing strikes and inducing contact, not having to miss a bat to acquire any type of out, all means necessary. Now, having said all this, Jake, if no one's going to let you go deep into a game, why would you throw the ball over the plate? Do you know what the Yankees are doing instead? Just trying to maximize missing bats. And what are you doing? You're trying to hit corners the whole game, right? Will Warren, earlier in the season, he was trying to work the corners the whole game. And you know what we found out? We found this out very late. Is that he can get away with stuff that's not on the corner. He can. Most pitchers can. As long as there's sequencing involved, if your team, and by the way, Jake and I both, I think we agree here, Jake, we've got a really talented group. As far as the starting rotation, it's not a perfect group. There's no Garrett Cole. There's no Schmidt, right? Heel was gone pretty much the whole year, and he's now back and obviously looking much better. That's great. But this is a good group. To say that this group walks guys as much as Colorado is disgusting. And it should tell you that something that we're doing mentally, like our mentality of how we get through games and our expectation to pitch innings, it's just not there. I think if there was an expectation to go 5, 6, 7 innings in an outing, with that expectation, you might see some pitchers being more aggressive in the zone.
No, I agree. And I do think, like, when you kind of, that pitch count definitely can linger. I think it's in, we already have seen, I mean, we saw it today, it's in Rodon's head. You know, he knows he's getting pulled there, right? I think it's hard to kind of focus at the task at hand, and I understand these were professionals and they still should, but this is my issue with having a pitch count. This is my issue with knowing, you know, when your skipper has a quick hook, because it's like now it really does feel like you're drowning in a glass of water, right? It's like, oh man, because the last thing, see, here's the thing, right? Wins don't matter. We talk about this all the time. Don't tell those guys that. The camera pans to them and they're sweating, and they're not sweating from pitching. They're like sweating it out because they're like, man, I didn't get a chance to defend myself here. And they're putting in this jabroni and he's going to give up 5 runs and I'm going to lose my win. And sure enough, they're right. So it's tough, man. It's tough to focus at the task at hand when, you know, like you have that hanging over your head. That's just my opinion. I don't think that's what's leading to the walks, but it is what it is. I mean, I think that they have pitchers that they're not really conservative. They're aggressive. We see that from time to time. Rodon, yeah, we know you can get your fastball in there and you can paint, the corner, or you can throw it low and they're going to swing at it, throw it high, they're going to swing at it. But like when you incorporate some of those breaking balls on like a 3-2 count, like that's a risky move. And I saw Rodon do that. It felt like he does that quite often. And those are normally, those are your walks. So that's what I'll say about that. But But yeah, let's end it here with Ninja Hot Dog.
Let it fly.
It is a miracle. We won. As my mom always says, it's either feast or famine for this team. Today we had a feast with lots of homers. It is a double-edged sword, though. The only consistent hitter we have right now, ironically, is Stanton, who usually is the least consistent, which is annoying, I would say. I bet Jazz goes hitless for 5 games now. On another note, the umpires this series were terrible, and I genuinely think the impending ABS additions have led umps to be worse and more power-hungry this season than ever before. Like that one guy was literally ejected a couple weeks ago or something for tapping his helmet, not the Yankees, but that shows how bad umpires are. I'm glad Volpe was sat, but Boone and or Glock are still delusional for putting him in for good defense. He is not a good defender. He's not a good anything. He needs to be kicked out. Fire Baboon.
Yes!
I love this bit. This is great. This is just great.
Again, it's perfect. There's like a little bit of a pause, and you're like, wait a minute. Fire Baboon. You're like,
I could feel that he was priming for it.
yes.
I could feel it.
By the way,
great
Miguel Cairo fan, and
Okay.
Miguel Cairo fans rejoice. We will see him on our screens this week because he is the manager for the Nationals.
Oh, yeah, we were bummed about that.
I
I mean, we
know.
were happy to see the signing and just see him doing well, but I would have loved if Miguel Cairo was our manager.
Well,
I don't know how good of a job he would do, but I mean,
Yeah.
you would assume it would be
Well, at this
solid.
point, and this goes back to what I was saying last year about why not call up Spencer Jones? Why not call up this guy? Why not call up that guy? When you lower the bar, like the bar has been lowered that far, you get to the point where you're like, well, what's the worst that can happen if Miguel Cairo is the manager over Aaron Boone?
No, it probably would be better. Like, you would have to imagine that Alex Cora wouldn't feel so confident walking in the Yankee Stadium if, I don't know, we got our pick of our manager and it was somebody else. But obviously the Yankees win. They found a way. Jake, you predicted it. Dustin May was going to pitch this game. Who we face as far as being on the mound is going to largely dictate if we are really going to hit home runs or not. If somebody not so great is pitching, we're going to hit home runs. And we're not chopped liver. But if you face great pitching, they're going to make less mistakes. You're going to get frustrated as the game goes on because guys are going to get on base, and suddenly you're going to be like, it probably would be nice if I hit a home run. You know, if I hit a home run here or got a hit. Well, you can't change your approach on a dime. You've been doing it the same way for the past 6 months. So what are they going to do? Take turns trying to hit home runs with a guy who just walked. And it doesn't work against great pitching. So we are facing not so great teams in the near future here. We're facing Washington. This is not a great team, obviously. I think we expect them to slug. I do. Is it a guarantee? Nope. These are professional baseball players. Washington can still beat us. Right? All these teams can beat us. People have been laughing about folks like the Mets and beating the Colorado Rockies. Well, guess who didn't beat the Rockies in all 3 games they played them? Us. Us. So we have to just be real about what's happening with this team, cover everything good, and I feel like we've done that, and also mention why it doesn't go well. Rather than just chalking it up to luck, bad luck. Oh, he lines into bad luck, or he's going to improve, and why is he going to improve? They don't give you an answer, right? So it'll be interesting. And what was our prompt exactly, Jake? Because I think that's what I want them to drop in the comments. What do you think of the Yankees right now? Is that what it was?
Yeah. I mean, where are you on the New York Yankees right now? Like, where are you?
Perfect. So again, guys, before you leave us, make sure you're subscribed and you hit that bell so you're notified. We're live after every game, which I'm sure most of you understand at this point. Win or lose, we're here. And we're giving away a Yankees jersey. I don't know how close we are now, but we're not far off. We're like 120 subs away, 130 subs from 10K. We're right around the corner, as Boone would call it. Make sure you sub. We're going to give away a Yankees jersey. Like the video, helps us out a ton. I know we almost got to 1,000 of that banger of an episode last night. So thank you guys, of course. And drop in the comment section what you think now of the Yankees. They've won game 4. What do you think about that? What's the conclusion here? Is it changing anything? Is it whoop-de-doo? Is that what you're saying?
Woohoo! Like, oh. Ooh.
10,000 is right in front of us. You're absolutely right, Ninja. You get thrown up on the screen for that.
Yeah.
Well said. It is right in front of us.
Cam Schlittler versus Brad Lord tomorrow. Lord just feels like somebody that's going to be a pain in the ass tomorrow, honestly. Like, isn't going to strike you out a ton. He's just going to get outs. He's going to stick around a minute. He's had a 4.09 ERA in the month of August, to be fair. But the Yankees never hit well against these, like, random dudes that, like, just get outs. So,
Ryan McMahon has he has some experience against him. I don't know if you saw that. He is hitting 0 off of him, but he has some experience. 1 at bat, 0 for 1.
Oh, nice. Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's 0 for 20 because that's what it would be. Okay, so Cam Schlittler's on the mound tomorrow. It is at Yankee Stadium. Yankees Nationals. We love the interleague play. Wish there was more of it, to be honest with you. And yeah, I think the Yankees win tomorrow. I think Cam is going to throw another freaking gem. I'll say he probably gives up a home run to James Wood, but aside from that, I think he throws another gem. We'll say he goes 6 2/3, gives up a run, 4 hits.
Beautiful. And Yankee Fangirl for Life says, yes, Ninja and I will be there. So enjoy the game.
Enjoy.
Obviously, we still are always rooting for this team to win a damn game. And if you're going to go to a game, you probably should go to a game where there's not great, elite, all-time great pitching.
Ninja's had it with the bullshit.
Stat pad. It does feel like somewhat we are a bunch of stat padders. It feels that way. So, guys, thank you for being here. If you're with us, basically a 2-hour show. But thank you, of course. Make sure you guys subscribe. And, of course, like the video.